Introduction. Bhagavad Gita is the gist of 4 Vedas, 18 Puranas, and Mahabharatam. Dishes out essential principles for humans' success in life. Is the sacred cow, wisdom tree, bestowing benevolence and teaching Brahma Vidya for salvation. Hrihi Om. Chapter 1. Arjuna Vishada Yoga. This chapter declares the eligible as well as ineligible beneficiaries of life who encounter defeatist and despondent tendencies. It bails them out by administering the antidote and elixir of the Bhagavad Gita. Chapter 2. Sankhya Yoga. This chapter distinguishes true versus false or the permanent versus impermanent nature of material life, while it also imparts the directive principles to possess equanimity in experiencing the pleasures and pains encountered in life. Chapter 3. Karma Yoga. This chapter is the secret that imbibes discharging one's duties with detachment or unattachment from fruits of action, treating work as worship and leaving the end result to God Almighty. Kings like Janaka, Mandhata, and Ambarisha attained immortality through this Karma Yoga. Chapter 4. Jnana Yoga. This chapter is about the art of doing good deeds with devotion and dedication aimed at the welfare of humanity. Just as a speck of fire reduces the forest to ashes, the good deeds inspired by the welfare of others reduce even heinous crimes to nullity. Chapter 5. Karma Sannyasa Yoga. This chapter advocates that Karma Yoga is better than Karma Sannyasa Yoga. Whatever result is obtainable by Karma Sannyasa Yoga is also achievable with Karma Yoga. If one does work or duty without attachment to the end result, the ill effects of work or duty would not accrue to the doer, just as the water does not wet the lotus leaf. Chapter 6. Atma Samyama Yoga. This chapter explains the practice and achievement of yoga clearly here. Merely indulging in Agni Karyas or fire rituals does not make a yogi. The real yogi is one who does his or her work without attachment to the end result. By controlling one's mind, one has to uplift oneself. In this process of yoga or sadhana, even a small effort does not get wasted. It bears fruit even in the next birth. Chapter 7. Vijnana Yoga. In this chapter, that which when known leaves nothing to be known further is all taught. By preaching that God is the real cause for creation, sustenance, and destruction, God tells us who the evildoers, good doers, persons in despair, inquisitives, wealth wishers, and jnanis are. He describes the practices actually followed and expected to be followed by these various devotees. Chapter 8. Akshara Parabrahma Yoga. This chapter preaches how to pass on or live this mortal life. It administers Brahma Vidya apart from preaching the Mahamantras. This chapter also unveils the secrets of those who would be reborn after death and those who would be immortal. Chapter 9. Rajavidya Rajaguhya Yoga. This chapter preaches the most secretive knowledge and also delineates the directions of life apart from helping achieve immortality. It preaches the most easy way to attain a sense of success in life while being the single most important chapter in the Bhagavad Gita. Chapter 10 Vibhuti Yoga. This chapter delineates the richest reservoirs of wealth in this universe, who possesses them and in whose custody they exist. God tells of His omnipresence across the universe and unveils the secret of reaching Him through unalloyed devotion and reveals the methodology for removing a devotee's ignorance. Chapter 11 Vishwarupa Sandarshana Yoga. This chapter speaks of the cosmic form of God, its visionary projections and actual witnessing of His splendor, that is unparalleled, causing hair-raising experiences. This chapter also preaches the essence of the Bhagavad Gita in a nutshell. Chapter 12 Bhakti Yoga. This is an important chapter which delineates the destiny of human life, God's multitudinous dimensions and forms. It describes the essential attributes of a devotee apart from describing the most easy route of attaining God's divinity. Chapter 13 Kshetra Kshetrajna Vibhaga Yoga. This chapter describes three issues, namely 1. Prakriti Purusha, that is cosmic material and conscious energy. 2. Kshetra Kshetrajna, that is field and observer. And 3. Jnanam and Jnayam, that is knowledge and knowable. It also proves the invariance between the individual soul and cosmic soul. This chapter is filled with treasures of wisdom, the knowledge of which leads to liberation. Chapter 14 Gunatraya Vibhaga Yoga. This chapter describes that the lack of a deterministic intellect leads to ignorant life, causing innumerable rebirths. It also unveils that the knowledge of bondage caused by the three gunas leads to liberation. Chapter 15 Purushottama Prapti Yoga. This chapter is the one in which the manner of attaining God, who is responsible for creation, sustenance, and destruction, has been described. By breaking the barriers of ignorance and wielding the weapon of unattachment, liberation will be at fingertips, preaches the chapter. Chapter 16 Daivasara Sampad Vibhaga Yoga. This chapter preaches that by collecting divine qualities and jettisoning demonical qualities, one can attain liberation. It also preaches the manner of avoidance of the gates of hell and also advocates adherence to scriptural dictums always. Chapter 17 Shraddhatraya Vibhaga Yoga. This is the best chapter that preaches the essentiality of possessing sincerity in spiritual field. It reiterates time and again that the key to attaining salvation is sincerity. Chapter 18 Moksha Sannyasa Yoga. This final chapter tells us that there is not a single substance in all the worlds that is devoid of the three gunas. The chapter further describes the clues to get liberated from the three gunas and ultimately preaches the essentiality of total surrender to get liberated. Hari Om.